Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment reviews PAIA request on climate policy transparency by Satori News. In a pivotal move towards ensuring transparency in government dealings, the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment (DFFE) announced that it has begun the process of reviewing an application submitted under the Promotion of Access to Information Act 2000. The request, placed by the shareholder activism group Just Share and the prominent amaBhungane Center for Investigative Journalism, calls for public access to records of interactions between government officials and industry representatives concerning South Africa's strategies for climate change mitigation and adaptation. The DFFE's consideration of this application comes at a crucial juncture, as this information is said to pertain not only to closed-door meetings, but also to the broader discourse around South Africa's energy mix, the nation's transition towards a low-carbon economy, and the infrastructural and exploration activities connected to these themes. Given the gravity of climate-related policies and their ramifications on the country's ecological and economic landscape, the demand for such transparency is emblematic of the public's heightened scrutiny over environmental governance. Highlighting its earlier commitments, the DFFE ardently refuted allegations regarding covert meetings with businesses to review the country's climate change commitments. It outlined that South Africa wrapped up the process to develop its national climate change response strategy, which was a publicly inclusive endeavor concluded in 2021. The process was characterized by extensive public consultation and input from the Presidential Climate Commission, which ultimately shaped South Africa's Nationally Determined Contribution, NDC. Under the updated NDC, the country has pledged to curtail its greenhouse gas emissions to a range of 420 to 350 million tons by 2030. This ambitious target aligns with the objectives stipulated in the Paris Agreement, notably keeping a global temperature rise well under 2 degrees Celsius. According to the DFFE, since the affirmation of these national commitments, there have been no further deliberations to reassess the set targets. The outcome of the PAIA application holds significant implications for civil society's capacity to hold governmental procedures accountable, especially on crucial issues such as climate action. It underscores the necessity for a participative democratic process that fosters trust between the public and the state institutions that helm pivotal policy areas like environmental protection and energy security. Transparency advocates and stakeholders in the environmental sector will be closely monitoring the DFFE's response to the PAIA request. It is a test of the government's commitment to accountability, particularly at a period when South Africa is grappling with the daunting task of pivoting its economy and society towards sustainable practices against a backdrop of entrenched fossil fuel dependency. This situation underscores the balancing act between advancing ecological imperatives and managing socioeconomic transition in a context as dynamic and complex as South Africa's. It also raises questions about the country's ability to navigate the intricate interplay of government policies, industry interests, and environmental stewardship as it strides ahead in the global climate action arena. Thank you for choosing Satori News.